What's up, everybody? It's Man of Low Moral Fiber here. My name's Luke, and in this video we're going to be starting a new series where we farm for every legendary item in Borderlands 2, starting with the very first mini-boss, Knuckle Dragger, and then working our way all the way through the Warrior and some raid bosses as well. We're going to start with a sniper build here on my Farming Zero. We obviously have the gear we need to do a melee build as well, and we'll probably switch to that at certain points in this series in order to break up the monotony. This is a character that I've built through several different series on my channel, where we started at level 1, worked our way all the way up to level OP8, and, completed all the quests and stuff. So that's the character we're using. If you're curious on his history, it is available on my channel. So all of these pieces of gear that we'll be using to farm, I did farm already, so those won't really count towards our series, and we'll farm for newer versions of everything. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll have to go back here to the Wind Shear Waste and farm Knuckle Dragger here. Obviously, some enemies are going to take a lot longer than others. Hopefully, Knuckle Dragger won't be too bad. The item that Knuckle Dragger drops is the Hornet, which is a pretty powerful Dahl pistol. I am using the community patch, but obviously I have not changed the drop rate in any way, so we should be at about a 10% chance to find most of these items. So far, I see a lot of yellow stuff on the ground, but I think it's all money, and none of these are actually going to be that orange item. So let's go ahead and quit out here, load back in, and Knuckle Dragger will have respawned, and we'll see how many tries it takes to get each of these items. Again, the Hornet shouldn't be the most difficult item we have to farm, so hopefully we can get it pretty quickly. The enemy that I'll take out next will probably be Midge Monk. I don't know if you would really consider Midge Monk or Boom Boom to be the first enemy or the next enemy. The second enemy, I guess, is what I meant to say there. I'm going to say it's Midge Monk because that side quest is available before you are forced to take out Boom and Boom, basically. So with that in mind, I'm going to do Midge Monk second, but we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves there because, Knuckle Dragger hasn't been friendly yet. So we'll just keep trying to farm Knuckle Dragger. Hopefully, he eventually drops what we're looking for here. With Knuckle Dragger being a Bullymong type enemy, the Fire Pimpernel is really going to rip him up quite a bit, so we shouldn't have too much trouble taking him out here with a sniper build. I could have specced into melee for this, but I know that Midge Monk bores pretty well, so hopefully we're able to farm for this Hornet pretty quickly here. Hopefully I don't miss any Hornets on the ground, and then we're able to get our Hornet and move on to Midge Monk, because I'm kind of excited to see if he does bore as well as I'm imagining he does. I'm pretty sure he does bore well. We'll find out. Obviously, there will be some enemies that we kill with bore as we go through this, including Bunker and some others. I thought I saw a Hornet there, but I guess not. It's just all of this yellow money. Most of the enemies don't drop this much cash, so most of them won't be quite as confusing as Knuckle Dragger is to, look at that loot pile and stuff. Some of them will be a little bit more obvious. I'm interested to get past Knuckle Dragger here. Obviously, we've only been farming him for a very short amount of time, but this should end up being quite a long series if I had to guess. It's going to take quite a while to find all of these items, so the quicker we can get each item, the better it'll be, because theoretically we could be here farming Knuckle Dragger forever, which is something I want to avoid. I know that as we go through this, there are going to be items that I miss, and that's going to be unfortunate. Obviously, in certain farming videos in the past, plenty of the commenters have pointed out when I missed an item here and there, so hopefully that doesn't end up plaguing us too bad in this series. It might. I would anticipate that there's no way I can avoid it entirely, but I'll try to be diligent about it. Still, no Hornet here. Like I said, I do believe it should be about a 10% drop rate. I guess when the game first came out, it was about a, 1 in 30 chance or around a 3% chance. I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember exactly. But I think it was about a 3% chance on drop rates, and that's exceptionally low. So I'm glad that eventually got patched out by Gearbox themselves, because that drop rate at 3% is ridiculous. That just seems almost punishing to the players who actually want to farm for stuff instead of just gibbing it in. Gibbed is obviously a save editor that is available for Borderlands 2, and I definitely think that it can make the game a lot more fun to play because certain items are exceptionally difficult to farm. But obviously on this character I have farmed for everything. Some of the items like the Hide of Terramorphous would have been almost impossible to farm for without the community patch. So big ups to the people who made the community patch there and made certain items, more feasible to farm. We'll go ahead and kill him again here. I'm really starting to worry about how long it's taken to farm a Hornet here. This is not an auspicious start to this particular series. Hopefully we can figure it out here, though. No Hornet yet, at least that I saw. It would be really embarrassing if I've already missed a Hornet, but I wouldn't put it past me. Got a bee shield there. I guess theoretically some items I could farm during this series will actually be better than some of the gear that I already have. If that's the case, we'll end up keeping it on this character. Otherwise, we're probably going to throw all of these items in a specific spot where I can kind of get rid of them here at the end of this series. So that'll be something to look forward to eventually, but seems like it's going to be quite a long ways off here if I can't farm a Hornet at all. So I don't want to, give up on the Hornet here and then come back for it later. I want to get this Hornet so that we can move on officially. Having some bad luck. I would imagine that we've killed him at least 10 times now. I haven't been counting. Perhaps I should have been. Come on, Knuckle Dragger, don't leave me. Make use of some of our skills here. Maybe that's why he's mad that I haven't been using deception or anything. Oh, there it is! He was mad that we weren't using deception. So that's good. We just have to treat the enemies with respect. So that's a floated Hornet there. It's going to have the Jacob's Grip. I'm not exactly sure what the floated prefix is, but it looked like it had a little laser on it there, so that's probably going to be either the accuracy version or the double version. I'm not entirely sure. Let's fire it real quick. Ah, neat. It's definitely the accuracy version, I think. Cool. So there's the Hornet, which is good. We'll go ahead and put an X on that so that we know that it's not one of our keep items here, because I don't really need a Hornet on this character. And then beyond that, that's not really a great version of the Hornet anyway. So we'll definitely be getting rid of that item at the end of the series. So now I guess we'll move on to the Southern Shelf. We could go farm Boom Boom. Like I said, I'm a little bit conflicted about who would actually be chronologically the second mini-boss for us, but since I do the side quest as they, become available usually, I think Midge Monk's kind of the second one, and then it'll be Boom Boom, and then Captain Flint. I don't know exactly how many we'll get through in this first episode of the series, but we'll find out. I don't think there are any enemies here that we could actually deal with, so we'll move past them. I do have the More History of Simulated Violence quest ready to turn in so that I could eventually farm for E-Tech Snipers on this character. E-Tech Snipers are something that I don't have too many of yet, and I don't really have any perfect ones at all. So that's something that I do want to look for because the community patch has made E-Tech Snipers significantly better, and so that'll be kind of neat for us. I'm unsure if enemies spawn in this area. This isn't, an area of the game that I've spent too much time in. Obviously, I have completed this quest before. I've completed the quest where you get the fur for either Hammerlock or Claptrap. I'm not exactly sure what that one is. It might be called Bad Hair Day or something. I don't remember. Oh yeah, there are definitely enemies here. So we got a follow-through bonus there. We don't really need to engage all of those enemies. They can't really drop any items that we're looking for here. Now, I would anticipate that Midge Monk's going to be a much more difficult farm than Knuckle Dragger was. Obviously, Knuckle Dragger was right by the travel gate, whereas Midge Monk's not. So we will actually have to engage some enemies on our way to Midge Monk, lest we would be really encumbered by the amount of firefight that is going to be going on as we try to engage Midge Monk. As I remember it, for Midge Monk, we have to basically get to the end of this little map here and then walk up some stairs and get within proximity of a certain door, and that is what causes Midge Monk to spawn. So with that in mind, it would be beneficial or prudent to take out some of the enemies that are going to be in the vicinity of where Midge Monk spawns. Otherwise, we might be fighting a war that we can't win. There would just be too many people concentrated on us, and sometimes they're going to obviously spawn with really powerful weapons, be it damage over time or Torgue weapons or whatever it may be. So with that in mind, we will kill some of these dudes on the way over there, assuming I can actually hit those shots. Alright, cool. So we got a couple psychos here and one marauder, it looked like, so that's good stuff. I guess these first ones we probably don't have to kill, but as we go further up here, there are definitely going to be some enemies that require attention. Enemies in Borderlands 2 are pretty interesting in the fact that sometimes they can spawn with basically a benign weapon, and sometimes they can spawn with something that they can kill you with from almost anywhere, you know? Sometimes they spawn with like single shot shotguns that have such bad accuracy that they could basically never kill you with them. And then other times they're going to spawn with a you know, particular SMG or something that seems laser accurate from across the map, or perhaps an elemental sniper. And ooh, see, like this elemental SMG. So that's one of the things I was talking about right there. Kind of worked out well there. Cool. There's one more enemy up there, but he keeps hiding. Oh, there's two of them, actually. Cool. So that should be enough dead ones. Obviously, if we spend this much time every Midge Monk kill, it's going to take absolutely forever. So I'll try to play a little bit aggressively and get to Midge Monk here. Midge Monk, as I remember it, drops the Kerblaster, which is a cool weapon, but one that you would almost never farm from Midge Monk after the Torgue DLC came out, because obviously it's much easier to farm in the Torgue DLC than it is here from Midge Monk. I thought Midge Monk would be right here. Oh, there he is. We just had to aggro some enemies. Oops, accidentally did the wall glitch there, which made him unaggro again. Huh, does he really not bore? I thought he bored easier than that. Alright, so hopefully there's a Kerblaster right down there, and we don't have to farm Midge Monk more, but we'll see. Ah, I don't see it. I don't think this super badass midget can drop it. I think it's only Midge Monk that can drop it, but I could be wrong on that. Midge Monk was the bully Monk that super badass midget was riding. So I don't see a Kerblaster here. He could have theoretically tossed it down here, but I don't think he did. Alright, so I guess we have to quit out again, and then we'll go forward again. Cool. So hopefully we get it from Midge Monk pretty quick here, because this is a pretty long farming run. Guess we could try to fly to some of these rack here. It will help us traverse the distance just a little bit quicker. We flew a little ways. Didn't fly as far as I would like. I would like to fly directly to Midge Monk's door, but I don't think we can do that. We could take the long way around too, I think. I'm not exactly sure where the long way begins, though. This is kind of a neat map. It's just a little side map. It's completely optional. You really don't have to play it if you don't want to. And theoretically, we could just give up on farming Midge Monk here and go do the Torgue bar or whatever and end up farming a, you know, enough Torgue tokens to then farm the vending machine in order to get a Kerblaster, but we're just going to farm the Kerblaster here for Midge Monk. Hopefully it doesn't take absolutely forever. So that guy sounded like he had a good weapon. I'm not exactly sure which one it was. I think it's this one. So we'll get rid of him. That's an ironclad. We'll need to give him a little bit of space so he doesn't barrel stuff us. Cool. Somebody over there has an amp shield. We'll go ahead and get rid of that badass. Badasses can spawn with a number of different shields. The amp shield obviously makes them a little bit more potent gun-wise, but I found that the most annoying shield that badasses can spawn with is actually a Nova shield if you're playing Melee Zero. That's something that in the past has plagued me when I have played Melee Zero, because you strip your shield and your Height of Terramorphous Nova perhaps could take down their shield, and then they hit you with like a Corrosive or Shock Nova or something from their Nova shield, and that's really brutal. Obviously with Sniper Zero, that's not really a concern of ours. Wow, there are a bunch of enemies in this area, so that's kind of cool. I guess it does break up the monotony. It's not like we're just killing Knuckle Dragger over and over again, who poses virtually no threat to us. Obviously, some of these enemies can kill us, so something to watch out for. Whoa! This is actually a fairly difficult area. There are some enemies that can cause us a lot of trouble. Alright, so we have health, we've got a little bit of critical ascension. Let's go up and try to make Midge Monk spawn here. I don't want to take that ladder there because... Oh, here's Midge Monk. That ladder takes away our critical ascension. Alright, so perhaps that's a bad place to kill Midge Monk, but maybe not because we can easily jump over here. I do not see any Kerblaster here, so that's 2 kills on Midge Monk. We will try to keep count here to see how long it takes. Cool. We could stay and kill all of these dudes, but we don't need to. So I'm going to quit out, and we'll go again. There is an ammo machine here right where we spawn in, so maybe that's something that I'll have to use because we're low on grenades at the very least. 65 sniper ammo, we should be fine with that, but don't want to run out of grenades. That's always a bad thing. The grenade that I'm using is a advanced version of a longbow slag transfusion, specifically the O negative. And so the O negative was an item that, without the community patch, I found to be kind of useless because without the community patch, it always has a fuse time, and because of that, I found that the non-unique version was simply better. With the community patch, it's pretty cool because it does a little bit more damage, and you can get it with the 0 fuse time, which is awesome. It does seem weird that certain items were, especially Seraph items, were just worse than the non-unique version, so that's one of the things that the community patch did that I think definitely made everything a little bit better. Seraph items should be worth something. You have to kill raid bosses for them and stuff, so it was weird that certain Seraph items were objectively worse than their purple counterparts. I wish that enemies couldn't block critical hits with their hands. It seemed like if you got shot in the hand and it was blocking your face, you would still get shot in the face because your hand's not very thick, and that's obviously not going to stop a sniper caliber round. Especially since Zero has a skill called Bore, which allows him to shoot through a ton of stuff, but just not an enemy's hand, which is kind of weird. Speaking of Bore, we got some decent Bore there. That was cool. Where you at, midget? Alright. See if there are any more enemies that we really need to kill here, or if we can just run past some of these guys. I'll go ahead and try to take these guys out real quick with some less precise shots from the Pimpernel here. Switch back to my Vladoff. Perfect. This guy's going to come right up to us and present himself for death, so we'll oblige. That guy has a Torgue shotgun, so even though we got lucky on the spread of that first shot that he had there, that's an enemy that we do want to kill. So Midge Monk should be around here somewhere. There he is. Ooh, sounds like Midge Monk, or at least the super badass midget on top of him, has spawned with an elemental weapon this time, so that'll be something we want to watch out for. Oh, we finally got the Kerblaster. This is excellent. This guy's barrel stuffing. We'll back up a little bit, makes it a little bit easier to hit our shot here. Cool. Now we have to get rid of this midget. I'm glad the grenade could fit through that gap in the railing. I was a little bit worried about it at first. We'll leave that midget lunatic or psycho thing because, you know, if we need a second wind, he would have been an easy second wind to get because he comes right up to us. Alright, so there's our Kerblaster. It's a nasty Kerblaster. I believe that's Jacob's grip. We'll take a look at it here. I actually like the Kerblaster. It's, you know, one of my favorite weapons to use on Axton and everything. Man, I wish my inventory wouldn't mess up here. So maybe I increased the inventory too high with the multi-hex edit tool there. I took it to 200, which, you know, is pretty large, but I wanted to be able to hold all of these items. So maybe I should knock it back down to 150 or something and see if that makes it less likely to glitch out. So this is the nasty Kerblaster. That's going to be the base damage accessory, and then the Torgue grip is going to give it, you know, a pretty high damage per shot and everything too. So that's pretty cool. I like the Kerblaster, and obviously it got a lot better with the community patch as well. So that's 2 items down. Let's go farm for a bonus package. The bonus package will be a little bit of a walk. We probably need to engage the... I'm going to buy ammo real quick. We probably need to engage the save station that's going to be there in Liarsburg, because I think that's going to be a lot closer than this travel gate. So that'll be something to keep in mind. I think I'm going to make a slight detour back to town, travel to Sanctuary or something real quick, and then travel back to this map. And then that should allow us to farm for Boom Boom relatively quickly. I don't know. We'll see. Might as well catch a follow-through bonus. Help us run a little bit quicker here. That was good. Midge Monk was fairly generous, which I guess we kind of deserved after I felt like Knuckle Dragger was kind of stingy. So that was cool. Alright, so we're almost back up to the save station in Liarsburg. I'm unsure whether or not I have to just trigger it, or if I have to travel back and forth in order to actually make that my last spawn point. And just to be safe, I am going to travel back and forth between one other map and here. So that's what we're going to do. We'll go back to Claptrap's place, I guess, and then we'll go back to Liarsburg. Cool. So that'll take us back to Liarsburg there, and then it's a relatively short walk to Boom and Boom. There are some enemies in the way, but I guess with 2 chances for Boom and Boom to drop the bonus package, maybe it won't be that bad of a farm. The bonus package is a very powerful grenade, but obviously with my Sniper Zero play, I am very dependent on this grenade for slagging and health recovery, so we don't really use a grenade for damage on this character. But on a character where I do use grenades for damage, like Axton, the bonus package is a really fun grenade to use. The fastball is pretty fun as well, so a lot of times I use the fastball, but the bonus package is pretty cool in its own right. I guess we could theoretically just run past those dudes. We can definitely run past these dudes up here, because I don't think they can actually, based on their programming or their AI constraints, can actually run to the boss fight with Boom and Boom. Now, the boss fight with Boom and Boom can be relatively difficult because that big cannon they have, I think it health gates you in one shot, so that's something to watch out for. I might need to switch to corrosive weaponry for these guys as well. I'm not entirely certain. Yeah, I think if he was actually weak to fire, that he would have taken more damage than that. So, dropped a bunch of grenades there, but did not drop what I was looking for. Alright, so both of the, booms are dead, which is good, but I do not see an orange item, which is a little bit unfortunate. Not a huge deal, though, so we'll go ahead and move forward and see what else we can find. Oh, we did find a contraband skyrocket. That's kind of cool, because, they don't drop that without the community patch, which is neat. So, go ahead and scroll down here, and we'll add this to the items that we've farmed for. It's not necessarily a legendary item, but it is a unique drop, so that's kind of neat. I want to go down here just a little bit because I found out that I have unexplored this section of the map, and I just wanted to unlock it real quick. There are certain achievements that I've never completed in Borderlands 2. I'm not really an achievement fan, so I kind of ignore them. Some people really like achievements. One of the dudes I play with at work, that's like one of his favorite things to do. I don't know, I kind of always set my own goals and challenges in video games, so it's not something that I pay too much attention to. But I know that exploring all of the, mapped areas is one of the things that is an achievement, so I think it's named areas, so if this isn't a named area, it's not really important, but as many hours as I have in Borderlands 2, I can't say for certain that I've ever walked back here, so I might as well check it out real quick. I'm not sure what's back here, just for kicks and giggles. Doesn't look like anything's back here. I think it's probably just a place to farm bullymongs if you're interested in doing such a thing. Alright. They should put a hidden raid boss here or something. It would be really funny if there was anything that was still undiscovered in Borderlands 2. But as much as people have taken apart the game files and explored everything at this point, I think that basically all of the mysteries are solved. Cool. So with that in mind, we'll go ahead and run it again. And it's not as if Gearbox could really sneak something into the game, because people would notice if there was a patch applied to it, you know, the game when you first boot it up, or I guess Steam would notify you of it. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but anywho, people would definitely notice that there was a new patch for it, and because of that, they would look at the patch and find out what it added. I would love for them to, you know, as Borderlands 3 grows closer, to release another DLC for Borderlands 2. Obviously, it's too late to release it on the original consoles, the Xbox 360 and PS3, that this game came out on, but I'm sure they could add additional content to the Handsome Collection on the newer generation of consoles, and definitely, you know, you could infinitely add things to the PC. So that's not a problem there, but I don't anticipate that they would do something like that. It would seem to me that as many people own this game and as many people still play this game for how old that it is, that it would be worth that little bit of investment, because it can't be that hard to add to the game, you know what I mean? And they could just add something cool like a different Digistruct Peak, just a varied Digistruct Peak with different enemies. That could be something kind of neat. Be easy to add too, I think. Go ahead and blow that dude up there. Yeah, that's just extreme optimism on my part. I know that it's never going to happen, but, you know, kind of cool anyway, if they did it. It seems like it'd be worth the investment, you know, like if you released a $5 DLC that's basically just Digistruct Peak with different spawns, I bet you'd get a bunch of people that would buy it, and it would be worth someone's time, you know? I don't know. Maybe 2K wouldn't be into that because you have to run things by your publisher and stuff anyway, so I don't know. Maybe Gearbox is kind of shackled on that. So no bonus package here on our second run from Boom Boom. We'll go ahead and run it again. I think that was a Carnage there on the loading screen. I'm not going to farm for every pearlescent item. I guess that would just, or maybe we could. I guess that would just be a bunch of Digistruct Peak runs because there's no real better way to do it. A Digistruct Peak run at least guarantees you a pearl. You could farm 4 tubby enemies and have a chance at a pearl, but a Digistruct Peak run at least guarantees it. However, a Digistruct Peak run does take some time, so with that in mind, it may be better to start with tubbies. I don't know. I don't know exactly what the most efficient route for that would be. I would probably do it with Digistruct Peak just because I personally enjoy Digistruct Peak. And that's why I was asking for a Digistruct Peak with a different set of enemies, you know? They could make a Digistruct Peak with DLC enemies or something, you know, instead of just base game enemies. But then I guess you would need all of the other DLCs to, you know, own those assets so that you could actually play it in Digistruct Peak or, you know, DLC Destruct Peak, if that's a thing. I would love for that to be a thing. Cool. So the big one should be out. The little one will die very quickly. I don't know if it's better to use corrosive. It probably would be, but obviously these guys just aren't that tough, so it's not a huge deal. Got another contraband skyrocket there. I wonder if it's better than the one we already have or not. Probably not. So that one has a 1.6 fuse time. I don't know if they all have fuse times or not. That one has a 1.6 fuse time, so they probably all have a fuse time. I'm not exactly sure how the skyrocket works. Obviously, the skyrocket, at least until the community patch, was absolutely useless at overpower level 8, so I never really played around with it too much. Perhaps that's something that I need to review as a part of my Does It Suck series going forward. I just realized that we should probably be including Flint in this run here. No, because you can walk backwards from Flint, can't you? I don't know if that's a one-way travel gate or not. It might be a one-way travel gate, actually. So we probably need to run all the way to Flint here so that we're not wasting runs. Because Flint's, you know, going to take a while to actually give us a Thunderfish drop, if I had to guess. I don't know, that might be... oh well, farming Flint might be tough. So I guess after this, even though you know, I don't know if I'm going to get a bonus package this run or not, but we'll start including Flint on our Boom Boom runs just in case, you know, Flint's going to take a ton of runs here. And he very well might. Alright, so the cannon's pretty close to me here. I have this pipe to kind of block it from me, so that's good. Looks like they dropped the skyrocket quite a bit. Is this another 1.6 fuse time? It is. Alright. I should have gone back to that other spot where I was. Oh my god, I got wrecked while in deception there. So like I said, this cannon's pretty strong. We gotta give it a little bit more respect than that. Okay. Oops. Lesson learned. Alright, so he's up there. He's still slagged, and now he's dead. Still no bonus package. Oh well. On to Flint. Cool. Unfortunately, there's not a parade of dudes here that we could, you know, continue to get follow-through off of or whatever, but that's where we're running to next, is up there by Flint. I guess he's technically on that side of the ship. I don't think we have to kill too many enemies on our way to Flint. We can run past most of these enemies, especially with the use of deception and follow-through, so that'll be good. Is there an enemy nearby? This guy. Alright. Plenty of ammo. Definitely almost have maximum grenades, so we should be fine to traverse our way all the way up to Flint here. It shouldn't be too big of a deal. It's a long walk, though, I can tell you that much. It'd be neat if there was some little catapult or something that you could shoot yourself up here with, but, you know, there's not. There's a couple little skips that we can take here. Like, usually I think that container door only opens if you kill a bunch of enemies there, so we'll just run past them. Make sure and grab some transfusions there. Perfect. We'll use deception to sneak past most of these dudes and turn this corner up here. Certain enemies are programmed to where they can't follow you out of certain zones. They are restricted to certain geographic areas. And as a result of that, you know, only certain enemies really need to be killed. Alright, so we're getting pretty close now to the next skip. And this skip isn't going to save us a ton of time, but it is a skip that you can do on your way up to Flint. It's more important, I guess, if you're speedrunning the game. And it's really important if you can actually, you know, jump on top of this box, which apparently I'm mostly incapable of. And then you need to hit that jump as well. So, need to be a little bit better at the Borderlands parkour here, or the Pandora parkour. That way we can have some alliteration. And, yeah, it's good stuff. Oh my gosh. I used to be better at making this jump. This is awful. I'm just going to try it one more time here, and if not, we're going to have to accept jumping defeat, because this skip is actually costing me time at this point. There we go. And so then once you get to there, you get on this chain, and perfect. Look at how much time we saved. Yeah, definitely a primo time saver there. Now, Flint is an enemy that I'm almost certain is immune to fire, so we'll go ahead and throw on a shock pimp here. Maybe we'll even throw on a shock bone of the ancients, which is entirely unnecessary, but, you know, Flint's a bad dude. He deserves respect. Alright. So I guess he's already spawned in. I think when you're actually playing through the storyline, he takes a moment to spawn in. And that allows you to get, you know, a lot closer to him and fight him before he goes into his fire mode, but oh well. So, he's nice and slagged up. kunai'd now. Whoa. That pickaxe thing he has quite the range on it, doesn't it? Jeez, he's not taking any damage at all. There we go. Alright, hopefully he dropped a Thunderball Fist for us. He didn't. He dropped a Tinderbox, which I don't really need. There's a free Tinderbox over in the Tundra Express if I decide that I want that, so we don't need that at all. Bummer, man. It's going to take quite a while to farm for a Thunderball Fist if we have to walk that far every time. But like I said, I'm fairly certain that it's a one-way travel gate at the other side of this. I think. Just go ahead and finish off these dudes here. This is a scavenger, so we'll go ahead and kill him as well. Okay. So, bummer of a run there. We farmed 2 booms and 1 Captain Flint and received 0 legendary items. Hopefully, our luck starts looking up here in a moment. We'll see. I mean, some of these enemies, like I said, are easier farms than others, and a lot of times it's really going to depend on how lucky we get. I mean, there have been times when I've been farming on this character where I get 2 legendary items in a row, and then there are times where I am pretty sure I've gotten like 30 mini-boss kills with not a single legendary drop. So, RNG is definitely a factor in this series. We'll see how it goes. Oh, good stuff. In case you're curious, we're starting this series with a Shiner Bock, which is a pretty tasty, relatively cheap beer. Alright. So that guy's dead. I didn't notice if he dropped a bonus package. I don't think I saw it, but obviously we'll go back and check it just to make sure. I think my antagonist slagged me there, which is always a treat. Okay. So we got him out of his gun, which is good. Perfect. Okay. Still no bonus package that I have seen. Obviously, I could have missed one by now, but I don't think I did. Can you still climb into this? Or is that only during the story mode? That may be a story quest only thing. Alright. So, on to Captain Flint again. Like I said, I think it's more efficient to do it this way. That way we don't have to run by Boom and Boom every single time, with them not actually being beneficial to us. So, maybe we'll get the Thunderball Fist before the bonus package, which takes us out of our chronological order plan a little bit, but I would actually kind of prefer it at this point because I don't want to have to run up to Captain Flint 100 times. We'll see how long it takes, though. Certain items are going to be a really tough farm, like the Skull Masher, for example, is, one that we have to walk quite a ways for, and then even beyond that, it's going to be something that could potentially get dropped out of bounds because it drops from Mothrak, or son of Mothrak, who, obviously flies in the air. And because of that, he can drop your legendary Jacob Sniper, the Skull Masher, in a place where you can't reach it, which would be really disappointing. So, that's looking too far ahead, though. Right now, we still have to farm for the bonus package and the Thunderball Fist. We'll leave our decoy here so we can take this easy skip. Hopefully I have a little bit of better luck with the next skip here. We'll see how it goes. I think if we run behind this building, this little A-frame, that not too many enemies can actually shoot at us. So, makes us a little bit safer if it does add a little bit more steps. That guy has an SMG. I think it was Slag, but I was a little bit worried that it might be Shock, so who knows. Ah, there are some really good lines written for some of these bandits and stuff. Obviously, some of them are allusions to certain things. I'm the one who knocks is one of the ones that I thought was really cool. I lived in New Mexico at the time that Breaking Bad was, in season or, in active production, like as Breaking Bad was actually going on. I lived in New Mexico, so that was something that everybody in New Mexico took a lot of pride in and stuff. We liked Breaking Bad, even though it kind of portrayed New Mexico in kind of a bad light. It was very violent. It, depicted meth and all of that. So, who knows? That's the wrong weapon there. All right, so I really do think he's like virtually invulnerable, or at least he can tank a lot of damage when he's in his, angry mode. So we'll go ahead and wait out the fire here. Taking note of any enemies that actually have guns that can reach all the way out to us. But mainly concentrating on this fella. Ah, get some good boar action on him. Whoa! He tried to get really aggressive on us, but he was unsuccessful. I'll go ahead and kill this scavenger too, because I have a custom mod with the community patch that makes scavengers able to drop the stockpile relics, because I thought it was a little bit weird that there was no direct loot source for stockpile relics. I think that every type of item should have a direct loot source, and it made sense to me that scavengers would drop stockpile relics because they stockpile things. So, it made sense to me at least. Alright, so that's 2 runs on Flint, and no Thunderball Fist yet. Let's go ahead and see if we can get a bonus package here, or if we're going to get a Thunderball Fist first. I would imagine that we get a bonus package first, because there are 2 chances for it to drop. I don't know if they both have half a chance to drop it, though. It's potentially possible that they both have a reduced chance to drop it, because there are 2 of them. But we've also farmed them a few more times than we farmed Flint so far. So it would surprise me if we get the Thunderball Fist before the bonus package. But anything's possible with RNG. That guy sounded like he was aggro, but he didn't come towards us. Alright, don't want to give this guy the opportunity to turn all the way towards me, so I'll go ahead and, scoot back a little. Okay. So, lots of smoke there, but I don't think he can shoot us, which is good. Plenty of critical ascension at this point, and he should die quickly, even if we miss all of our kunai. I wish there was one kunai that went, directly straight instead of having them all be, spread-based. I wish there was one that went in a dead straight line, kind of like a gun would, so that they would be a little bit more consistent as far as actually landing them on your enemy there. Still no bonus package to my knowledge, which is unfortunate. Usually the bonus package is something that I think people who speed run this game farm for, because it's such an effective weapon early on and stuff. So with that in mind, I know that certain people have had good luck farming it, and we seem to be having some troublesome luck here. Not a huge deal, though. So, back up to Captain Flint's ship again, and we'll take him out again, see what happens. I guess I am really kind of cucking myself here on the boom and boom by refusing to use a corrosive weapon and then not even using a Firebone of the Ancients, but you can use the Fire Vladoff and get by just fine. It's exceptionally powerful. All right. Oh no. This guy reloads before I can kill him. We would have died, but he didn't. The rest of the guys are melee based, so they can't really deal damage to us at range. They can throw their hatchets, but as long as you keep moving, they're usually not super accurate with their hatchets. Cool. I'm slag, so hopefully I don't get shot, because obviously at overpower level 8, when you get shot when you have slag, you're likely going to be under health gate at that point, so hopefully we don't get shot, and looks like slag is worn off now at this point, so that's good. I wanted to get the execute slide there, but looks like deception was lasting long enough for me to get around that corner unscathed anyway. Another thing that can happen is if you leave a ton of enemies spawned in over there, they won't actually spawn the total amount of enemies that could potentially spawn in this area, because the game still has all of those other dudes loaded, and I think there has to be some sort of maximum enemy count that limits those enemies from spawning. I could be wrong. Ah, that was a much better use of this skip here. I hadn't done it in so long, that's why I was so rusty. Alright. Could we, like, grenade jump over this or something? Potentially. I don't know. Go ahead and buy ammo, just to be safe. Not that I expect that we'll need it all, but might as well. Ah, Flint's up there this time. Whoa, that guy's got a corrosive smidgy, so we'll go ahead and get rid of him. He did get what he deserved, that is correct. Alright, we need to actually use our slag rifle because our grenade is not helping us here. No big deal, though. Took out Flint again, and still no Thunderball fist. That's truly unfortunate. We get a Flint's tinderbox every time, but no Thunderball fist quite yet, so we'll run it again. It's a bummer. Alright. Back to it. I guess the mouse that I use is now discontinued, which is a little bit sad because mice do eventually break, and I like this one. It's got the right combination of ergonomics and thumb buttons. Makes me like it. It is a Logitech G700S. It's kind of neat. I'm sure Logitech has made the next generation of it that is pretty similar, but that's the one I like. Before that, I think I had a Corsair M95, and I actually like this Logitech 700S better. Prior to the Corsair, I had another Logitech that they actually make a new version of. That one was fully ambidextrous. I can't really recall the name of it at this time, but it had, like, you know, fully ambidextrous buttons, and you could use it right-handed or left-handed, and I think it's a pretty popular mouse still for left-handers. One of the dudes at my work actually still uses that as his primary work mouse because he is left-handed. Ah, nothing there. That's the same dude who likes all of the achievements. Okay, so no bonus package yet that I've seen. I don't think it got thrown off here, so we'll move forward. I guess they probably stop spawning those psychos after you kill these guys. I don't know if they infinitely spawn if you leave one of Boom and Boom alive. I think that they spawn those dudes in so that you can get a second wind, which is pretty smart because I don't think you can get a second wind off that big cannon thing. So that's, you know, really good design there, forward thinking. There are certain enemies that you can't really get second winds off of, like in the Tiny Tina DLC, those skeletons that you have to pull the sword out of their back, and that's something that is a little bit unfun to play against sometimes. So props to them on thinking about spawning those lunatics so that you would have a second wind opportunity. Alright, so we're moving forward here. Looks like we are going to need to kill this guy because I didn't take the right path running there, and I saw that he had an SMG. I feel like SMG is a relatively dangerous weapon for enemies to spawn with. And it's really common, too. Like, in some maps, you'll find guys that have Malawan snipers or Vladov snipers, and that's something that's, you know, tremendously dangerous and difficult to play against. But SMGs are a lot more common, even among, like, very common enemies. And if they happen to spawn as an elemental variant of it, you can really be in some trouble because that damage over time at overpower levels is so brutal. It'll be interesting to see, you know, when Borderlands 3 is finally, you know, released. The writing that goes on, obviously, I thought Anthony Birch was a narcissist who thought he was a lot funnier than he was, but, you know, the company as a whole has gone through a lot of changes now as well. You know, like, certain people that were instrumental parts of Borderlands 1 and 2 are no longer with Gearbox, so it will be interesting to see what happens. And I'm not exactly sure the extent of Birch's writing, like if it covered all of the dialogue or if it was just the main storyline and stuff like that. I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure there are people funny enough at Gearbox currently to come up with, you know, good new lines for the bandits in Borderlands 3 eventually. So I'm not terribly worried about it. But like I said, some of them do say some funny stuff. Uh-oh. Getting stuck on the box again. Here we go. Perfect. Alright. Back on our chain here. And now we'll be back up to Captain Flint. I can tell you that we started slow with Knuckle Dragger. Then we had a pretty quick Midge Monk farm considering how long the walk is for Midge Monk. And now we're seeming to have really bad luck. So, like I said, this series will be very dependent on the RNG that we get. And the length of it will be very dependent on that. So, we'll see what happens. Alright. So there's Captain Flint. Go ahead and get some transfusions in the air here, hopefully. I guess we can't really get a critical hit on him, so we can't really get those transfusions in the air with the Moxie rifle. Alright. I don't see any Thunderball fists still. So having some bad luck here, which is unfortunate, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Yeah, I guess I do need to test the contraband skyrocket again. That'll be a good video. Axton's fun to use occasionally, so we'll see what we can have. I think it'll be good. I would imagine it would be good. The main reason it wasn't good is because it didn't scale up to OP8, so who knows? We'll find out. How far can these guys come? Yeah, they can come a little ways. I like that noise he makes when he's running at you. There was some kid at the dog park the other day who made noises like that as he was running around. He made more noise than most of the dogs. I don't know. Some parents just let their kids do absolutely whatever, which can be really annoying sometimes, but it does work out to be sometimes very funny. Alright, so Big Bertha's down. Should have our boom boom, or our second boom, coming here very shortly. I can't believe that he has not dropped a bonus package yet. Getting plenty of contraband skyrockets here, but no bonus package. I would imagine that there's pretty much only one variant of the skyrocket because it was like a pre-order item, and I wouldn't imagine that they would have given you know, some people a better version of it than others, but who knows. Try to fly through the air at some of these rack here. Good stuff. Alright. So we're moving forward here. We'll eventually get to where we're going, and I'm feeling it. This time we're actually going to get our Thunderball fist. We'll see. It may not be the case. I can tell you what, though, if it was only a 3% or if it was a 3.33% chance or whatever it was, a third of 10%, it would be even longer to farm it. So a 10% chance still seems really low for a walk like this, you know what I mean? Especially since you're probably, if you're looking for a Thunderball fist, you know, if you actually want to use it instead of just collecting it, you probably want to find a, you know, well-built version of it with a beneficial accessory and maybe a Malawan grip. And if you're really looking for specific parts on a weapon, it can be really difficult to farm for certain items, especially ones that have an extremely long walk like this. I'm thankful that the walk for this weapon, the one that I'm wielding, is a relatively short walk or drive from the Friendship Gulag up to Gettle, because this is, you know, one of the very best weapons in the game, and perhaps my favorite weapon in the game, to be honest with you. Alright. I guess they leave it a little ambiguous. You don't know if Zero's a robot or not, so it's kind of funny. Alright. That guy can't hit me with his inaccurate shotgun. That's good stuff. He should apply a different choke to his shotgun. That's one thing that they could do in future iterations of Borderlands, is allow guns to be customized once you get them a little bit. You know, if you have a shotgun, perhaps you could add a different choke to it or something like that. That would be really, really cool. I think they should, it's kind of a vulgar term, but lift the skirt a little bit on some of the secrets in Borderlands, you know. I think that that would be kind of neat. I guess the more PC term there is pull back the curtain, you know, kind of a Wizard of Oz reference there, but yeah, who knows? Because there are certain things that, you know, people just didn't know exactly why they behave certain ways and stuff before the, you know, game details were a little bit more explored by looking at the game files and stuff. I don't know. You know, like when the game first came out, people didn't know exactly how many grips were available for each type of weapon and stuff, and eventually it was all figured out and whatnot, but they could make it a little bit more available to the average player to where you don't have to look things up online to figure them out and stuff. I don't know. It's something I would recommend. It's something I would like, but it's not totally necessary. Alright, so another Flint tinderbox there. That's unfortunate because we still haven't gotten what I've been looking for. I don't know how many more runs we can do. I think we're getting pretty close to an hour long on this video at this point. That's kind of the ideal length for the episodes in this series, I would imagine, is about an hour. That's about what I want them to be, but, you know, I would like to quit on a win. You know what I mean? I would like to get a bonus package here or get a Thunderball fist so that then we could continue in the next episode with a new item. But with us farming for 2 items specifically right now, the next episode, unless we get really lucky and get a double drop here, the next episode's probably going to be one of these 2 items. Quite a long walk here for this farm, though. I can tell you that much. Knuckle Dragger was a good farm because, you know, he was so very, very close. He still took a few times to give us our Hornet, but, you know, he was very, very close to where we spawned in at. These enemies take a little bit longer just to walk to, which is unfortunate. It's probably possible to kill that guy before he gets into the cannon. I think it is, at least. I could be wrong. Throw another transfusion there just so that I have it available in case I need it. Alright. We'll kill the big one first and see if that makes any difference. We've always been killing the little one first. Maybe this will make him drop a bonus package. Maybe it'll make the little one drop a bonus package, you know? Who knows? How can it take this long to farm a bonus package? This is ridiculous. Alright, on to Flint again. I guess the one that we'll do after, or the two that we'll do after these two are going to be, I think, I could be remembering it wrong, but I think it's the Fastball and the Unkempt Herald, which are both very top tier items. So that's kind of cool. The bonus package is a top tier item. I'm not a huge fan of the Thunderball Fist, but come to think of it, I'm almost sure that it got a buff with the community patch. I could be wrong, so maybe that'll be something we have to look at there. Thunderball Fist is a weird weapon. Can we get over that? That's good stuff. Alright, closer to Flint than we were a minute ago, but still quite a ways to go. Hopefully he eventually finds it, you know, in his heart to be generous instead of being a Scrooge. We'll see. Alright. Well, I don't know. I might have to quit on a bad note here, on a somber note. I don't want to. It's not what I planned. But I also don't want this video to be 10 hours long, so that's something to keep in mind, I guess. Those guys aren't interested in fighting me, so I'll leave them be. This guy looks a little bit more interested in it, so we'll fight him. Dog came to check out what I'm doing here. That's good stuff. He realizes I'm playing his namesake. He's an adopted dog. My dog Maya was actually named Maya when I adopted her, so that worked out well. And then, you know, I adopted him as a pair, and I didn't like the name that he was originally given, so he was renamed to Zero specifically after this character. And then it worked out really well with them being named Zero and Maya, which are my two favorite characters in this game. Perhaps I'll get another dog and name it Axton. Alright, let's go ahead and get this guy nice and slagged up there. Keep forgetting where I have the Shock Pimpernel, and that's costing me a lot of time here against Flint. Oops. Can we just hit another critical hit on this guy as he sits there? That's a terrible thing to do. If you just got critical hit and you're only standing behind a barrel that only goes up to your waist, you should think about moving. That would be optimal strategy. Flint should train his crew a little bit better. Come on, Flint. Why are you so stingy, man? I guess he drops a tinderbox every single time, but that's not an item I want at all. You know what I mean? I want the Thunderball Fist here. You can go get a tinderbox at any point in time from a snowman out in the Tundra Express, so there's no reason to farm it from Flint, really. Alright. This is the run. I'm feeling it. We're going to get lucky this time. We'll see. That should give us follow through, and it'll also give us Grim. If we happen to take a shot, our shield will start refilling, so that's good stuff. Alright, we're getting very close to Boom and Boom now. I would hope that I haven't missed a bonus package drop yet, but as many times as I killed these guys, I would almost think that I have missed it, because we've been so unlucky up until this point. Alright, so the big one's out of his cannon. We'll go ahead and take him out here. How has he not dropped a bonus package yet? This is absurd. I want the transfusions to go to that guy, so that's why I killed that psycho. Seriously, no bonus package, man. That's outrageous. We'll go forward here. I guess I'll do, 1.5 more runs. We'll kill Flint 2 more times and these guys 1 more time and see if that gets it. If not, we're just going to have to give up on a loss. I mean, it's unfortunate, certainly, but that's the way RNG works sometimes. We still did accomplish 2 of the items so far. We've got a Kerblaster and a Hornet, so it's not as if we were totally unlucky or this was a totally unfruitful video, but still a little bit disappointing. I don't know why that guy wasn't aggroed to us. Flint needs to train his crew better. They do some foolish things. Alright, looks like a delicious red snapper there. I could go with some fish to pair with my beer. Speaking of, I should finish this one off. Good stuff. Alright, getting a little bit closer. We'll go ahead and take this skip again. We'll do it without deception, though. The greedy way. I'm not very good at jumping. Alright. That was a good body block by that dude. Okay. Again, those dudes can't follow me into this room, so I know that pretty much as I get around that corner, unless someone happens to spawn with a weapon that can really reach out and touch me, I'm gonna be okay. Ooh, a scavenger. Scavengers have increased health. They always have a shield, so they're a much more dangerous enemy. In addition to that, their pathing can be a lot more difficult to predict than a normal enemy because they're always seeking out items that are on the ground. Okay. Oh no! I got up to the right spot and then I fell. A dumb move. Okay. We'll get over here and then we'll get up here. Perfect. Hey, bros. There's no reason for that. Make yourself known. Ah, you're way over there. Whatever. Can't see him through the slag. Can't see him because of the bone. Alright, hopefully he doesn't kill us here. He's really close to us. Cool. Looks like we got past him. Alright. I'm feeling confident. The game has kind of had me in a bad spot for a little while now as far as not giving me any items, but hopefully we get it this time. Ooh, corrosive smidgy over there, so we'll have to go ahead and take him out. And a badass. Maybe this is the run where they actually give us something because they've spawned in good accompanying enemies here. That's one of those guys with the Nova Shield. That's more dangerous if you're playing Melee Zero than Sniper Zero. We'll just try to stay away from the corrosive SMG dude as we kill Flint. Come on, Flint. What in the world? Why doesn't he ever drop the Thunderball fist, man? Alright, we'll give it one more run here, and then we'll be done. Nothing. Alright. That's unfortunate if we spent all this time in the latter half of this video farming these 2 mini-bosses, or technically 3 mini-bosses, and have nothing to show for it. That would be disappointing, so hopefully the game hears my cry here and actually, does something good for us instead of just constantly giving us the bad luck here. And maybe sometimes you just have to give up and try it another day, because sometimes things just aren't going to work out for you, and, there's always tomorrow or the next day. the world's not going to stop turning if I don't farm a bonus package here, so we could always give it another shot. Not as if we have a very strict timeline here. Obviously, going to be playing Borderlands 2 until Borderlands 3 comes out, so not a huge deal if this takes a long time to complete this series. I saw yellow and I was like, maybe that's orange. It wasn't. Gonna blow you so hard. That's good stuff. Okay. Come on, seriously? No bonus package, man. That's severely disappointing. Oh well. On to Flint. Maybe Flint will eventually be agreeable here. Maybe he'll be like, you know what? I've seen the work you've put in, kid. So here you go. Here's your Thunderball fist. That'd be good shit. Probably not, though. Alright. Made use of execute there to traverse the distance a little bit, but, you know, that's not going to take us all the way to Flint. It'd be funny if there was like a line of rack that you could execute all the way up to Flint with. That would be pretty neat. I think in one deception, even if you had something to execute to every single time, that you still wouldn't be able to cover that much distance. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe we need like a Batman grapple or something. That would be pretty cool. There should be movement-based abilities. You know, obviously execute is a movement-based ability to an extent, but that would be kind of a cool idea for a character going forward in the Borderlands series.
You just set off my trap card. Your death approaches.
Oh god. Sometimes I have trouble with what should be relatively easy jumps. Oh well. Moments like that make me really appreciate the antagonist and its defensive capabilities, but sometimes it works as a defensive item for the enemy when it, you know, shoots out that slag ball that protects them from a lined up critical hit or something. Ooh, so this guy put us into fight for our life between his corrosive gun and that stupid barrel, so we'll use a Pimpernel, get a couple critical hits off him in order to recover, and then it looks like we got our health back perhaps from a transfusion that came to us after we exited Fight for Our Life, after we fought for our life successfully. Alright, that's good stuff. It would have been embarrassing to die there. On to the chain again. Perfect. Alright, so this is pretty much the last enemy that we're going to kill here. Hopefully we get lucky. If we don't, anticipate some more Boom Boom and Captain Flint farming in the next episode. You know, there's no real... I mean, you could edit the game files or, you know, apply a custom mod to make them drop stuff quicker, but we're not going to be doing that, so we're going to farm for all of these items with their normal drop rate, and because of that, some of them are just going to take a really long time to farm. And yeah, this one in specific is going to take forever because we still haven't got it, and it's a terribly long walk. So with that in mind, we've had some bad luck thus far. Let's kill the rest of these dudes and make sure this isn't a two-way travel on the other side of this. I'm almost certain that it's not, but it's been a while since I've played through this part of the game, so I just want to confirm to satisfy my curiosity here. Alright, so the most dangerous one is dead, And now the other two are close to dead. Alright. That's all we really need there. That's ultra unfortunate, man. Maybe we'll get a Thunderball fist from this chest and we can call that good. It doesn't look like it. You got a corrosive singularity there. That's kind of cool, but yeah, that's truly unfortunate. This door doesn't open, does it? No, it doesn't. So I think if we go through this gate, then there's no way. Oh yeah, there's no boat here. That's a story mission only thing. So yeah, there's no way to like do a quick Flint farm, I don't think, which is a little bit sad, but that's the way it goes. I think if we jumped out here, we would die. I'm fairly certain. There is a cool jump that you can do off of the edge of this here, so maybe that's how we'll end the video. So far in this video, we farmed for a Hornet successfully, a Kerblaster successfully. We can go ahead and take a look at both of those real quick. So yeah, we farmed for a Hornet and a Kerblaster, assuming the inventory will let me operate here. Give it just a moment, I guess. Man, I do need to turn the backpack size down because for whatever reason it's just glitching there. If we use the keyboard, it might function a little bit better. So there we go. There's our Kerblaster and there's our Hornet. It's definitely cool that we were able to find these two, but disappointing that we were unable to find a bonus package or a Thunderball fist. I'm sure some observant viewer has noticed that I probably missed a bonus package. I hope I didn't. I really do hope I haven't missed an item yet, but I have missed items when I've been farming before, so we'll see. That's a cool jump, but, you know, it doesn't get us the item we were looking for. So, as always, guys, I thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you haven't yet taken the time... Ooh, killed myself with my own grenade there. That was really dumb. If you haven't yet taken the time to subscribe, please do so. We're going to take out this guy with the corrosive SMG just because, why not? We'll go ahead and finish all of these guys off before we quit here. Just so that we can kind of end on some sort of positive note. Unless we just get murdered. Maybe this was a bad idea. That guy's fighting Rax, so he can be a little bit difficult to actually line up a critical hit on because he won't look at us. Alright, so this guy's here. He's killed us once already. We won't let him do that again, hopefully. He's still a lower priority to me than basically all of the enemies with guns, so that's why I wasn't taking him out super quickly. And instead was prioritizing these enemies instead. That's a double instead there. Does that cancel out? That's like a double negative? I'm not so sure. Alright, just a few more enemies, and then we'll go ahead and, you know that in the next episode we'll continue this farming. It's unfortunate, you know, sometimes you don't get what you're looking for, but like I said, that's the way that RNG works. There's just only so much you can do about that. Okay, so they do spawn quite a few enemies in this area. We were running through quite a few enemies, not engaging them and everything, but we were still unlucky against Flint and Boom and Boom, so that'll be what we're looking for in the next episode. One more time, guys, thanks for watching, and I do hope to catch you next time. If you're a fan of this series, definitely put it in the comments. I'm planning to complete this series, you know, but I hope everyone likes it. You know, it's kind of basically just a episodic version of, you know, the hunt, basically, that I know some people live stream, you know, a long time ago and stuff, but, I didn't participate in it, so maybe I'll participate in it now. I guarantee that you won't see a triple pearl drop from bunker or anything as we go through this. I promise you guys that. So, one more time, guys, thanks for watching, and I hope to catch you next time. Bye, guys.